Welcome back. In this assessment we're going to look at the Unix terminal window, the Unix file system. We'll discuss the difference between relative and absolute paths, and we'll look at some Unix shortcuts. So let's get started. First, open a terminal window. How you do this differs on every computer. I use a Mac, and I've put terminal on my dock. Whatever system you use, terminal brings up a blank screen like this. On the left-hand side is the prompt, and it usually shows the username and generally it ends with a $sign. Later we'll look at how you can customize this. To the right of the prompt is the cursor, the little gray box which shows where you'll start typing. Here's where you will type commands and where you'll see the results. We'll start by finding out where we are. Type pwd and press enter. pwd stands for print working directory, and that's what it does. To see the contents of a directory, use the shell ls command. It lists the contents of a named directory, or, if you don't name one, it'll list your current directory. This contains 9 items, and, following the file naming convention, we can see they are all subdirectories, because their names all start with an uppercase letter. To check the contents of one of these, say the libraries folder for example, we can run ls on it. Here's a useful feature. Unix autocomplete will fill in the missing part of any command provided you've given it enough information to positively identify it. The ls command expects a file name or a directory name to follow. So entering ls and l, followed by tab, causes Unix to look for a file name or directory that starts with an L. As there's only one, Unix will autocomplete the command, and pressing enter will run it. And it shows us there are a lot of subdirectories in the libraries folder. However, if you want to display the contents of the movies folder, ls and m won't work. It'll simply display movies and music. That's because there's 2 subdirectories that start with an m, and you'll have to give Unix more. So type ls, mo followed by tab and enter. This'll display the contents of the movies folder. My screen is getting rather full, and typing clear will clear the screen. All the old commands are still there, they have simply been scrolled up and off, and you can scroll them back if you want. Autocomplete works with all Unix commands. For example, the Unix command cd will change the current directory to one you name. So typing cd and l, followed by tab, causes autocomplete to look for a directory name that starts with L, find libraries, and when you press enter it will complete the command. The current directory has now changed to the libraries folder, and pwd will confirm this. You'll remember we got here by typing cd library. That's a relative path name, and relative path names always start from the current directory. An absolute path name, however, always starts with a slash, which means it starts from the top of the file system. So, the absolute path of this folder is /users/emma/library, which is what the pwd command shows. In a path name, a dot represents the current folder. Unix also provides ... to represent its parent. A folder can have as many subfolders as we want, but it can only have one parent, and the command cd ... will take us to our current directory's parent. We were in libraries, and you'll remember that the parent directory of libraries is /user/emma, which is also our home directory. So we're back in our home directory and pwd confirms this. Another useful feature is cd on its own. Typing cd and enter will takes us to our home directory, no matter where we start. Let's have a look at the rest of the file system. Type cd/ and enter. This'll take us to the top, or root, directory. But, before we go there, let's clear the screen again. Here's where the Unix file system starts, and typing ls will show us what it contains. By the way, you won't want to mess with these directories or their contents, but we can look at them. For example, the bin directory is where Unix keeps its binary files, and typing ls bin will list them. Here's the executable for the ls and cd commands we've been using. Cd is a part of the shell, and a lot more commands which we'll look at later. Let's clear the screen again. We're still in the root directory, and you'll remember that cd on its own will take us back to our home directory, no matter where we start. Finally, let's look at tilde. It's like a little horizontal S, and in Unix, tilde is shorthand for the home directory. So cd tilde also takes us home. And that concludes this first assessment on command line programming. Thank you for watching. In the next assessment we'll look at the other Unix commands. There are only 37 of them, but they are very adaptable. The ls command, for example, can be used in 41 different ways. We'll learn about these and how to connect them using redirection and pipes to build complex apps. I'm sure you'll find it interesting.